Hi guys, this is Gaurav, and I'm going to show you something today which can, I think it will pretty much change the way you work. It'll change your workflow and will give you a fantastic result with your mixes. So what I'm trying to do basically today is show you how to bring that punch, that movement into an otherwise static production or mix. So you mix your tracks, they're balanced, and you basically compress them, and they're sounding good. But it's not sounding like that, radio record or that radio ready record, and that's because compression is a key element which makes it sound like that. What I'm trying to do basically is emulate an API 2500 compressor without the plugin. I'm doing this in Logic, and I'm going to show you something hidden in one of Logic's plugins. And this can pretty much help you get the effect that we're talking about. This is that thrust effect. This is that pumping, hitting, hard hitting effect done on entire mix. Of course, you can go ahead and do it on individual tracks as well. So let me play you the difference. This is a track that I'm currently working on, and it's a work in progress. So I'll show you how the basic balance is. Okay, so here it goes. Yeah, so that's a great way to start your day or your evening with some strange music, um, strange as it is. Let me show you what I'm doing to this. I'm going to convert this mix into a more thrusty mix, which sounds like this. So you see that difference? I'm trying to keep the volume the same so you can notice the difference between the thrust and the non-thrust with the plugins bypass. Now basically, what I'm also doing is trying to emulate the soft saturation which occurs in hardware compressors. And I'm doing this with the stock plugins of Logic. I'm not really using any third party. So let me show you what I'm doing. The first thing I'm doing is, oh, the secret is out. Okay, so this is the standard meat and potatoes Logic compressor. Now inside this, you've seen the settings which are pretty bare bones basic. This is attack, release, ratio, compressor threshold, peak, RMS, depending on the type of compressor circuit you're using. And there's also this additional stuff which is, so if you press this arrow, this opens up and there's a whole new world of fantastic parameters which can give you that kind of thing. I myself recently discovered this, and a lot of my time has and effort is saved now because I can use this on either on tracks or on the entire mix itself. So as you see, I've set the output uh, to soft distortion. Now if I switch this off, you can hear the difference. What I do is basically when I play this is, so you can hear that subtle difference is basically, instead of just keeping the track the same, I'm adding a soft amount of saturation as the levels increase. If I keep it to off or to normal, it's just going to either clip or it's not going to sound very pleasant as the levels go up. So you can reduce your levels here, or the entire overall output level, the gain can be reduced. Since I put this minus 3 dB, you can see it in the main meters here that the level is reduced. Although it's peaking because I've compressed hard, but it's not reaching 0 dB. It's at a lesser point there. Now, let me just show you how I've got this to pump and stuff like this. The first important part is the type of compression that we're doing. Okay, we're trying to basically emulate a sidechain kind of compressor, but using the kick drum or the low end of the track. So what we do is, when you open this panel, is you can apply a sidechain filter from here. You say activity to on, and you put the mode to low pass. Basically it means we're letting the low frequencies pass. Here I've selected up to about to 246, I can go 233 as well. Set a short cue so I can zone into the thump of the kick drum or the thrust of the kick drum, and use that circuit to pump the entire track. Okay, then of course this is post gain and this is mix. So this is so cool. You can actually parallelly compress within this compressor. You don't really need to add this to another bus and then send the signal. You can add as much compression as you want, and we'll see that in a moment, and how the entire compression is and how we can fix it. Another interesting thing that I've done is I've used another additional EQ here, and what I've done is I've bumped around 118 hertz with a bit of bandwidth, so I can get a little more of the low end thump to activate the compressor as well as change the sound a bit. So if we went to 100% mix, we could actually thrust this more. Let's see before. It's become that really glued, punchy sound, and with the soft saturation, it's also distorting the sound a bit. So that's again something that is up to you if you want that color or you don't want it. I want that color slightly in this case. Okay, now let's get to this. I've chosen a setting for circuit type as Studio VCA or voltage controlled amplifier or variable gain amplifier. Basically, VCA circuits can be used to create compressors. They can be used to create synthesizers and other things. So in this case, it's basically a voltage controlled amplifier, which basically means it's a compressor. So it's a solid state device in this case. I'm using the attack and release and the compression ratios to basically set the kind of pump or compression that I want. The harder ratio I set, the more it will compress. Release is basically the parameter you can use to create that pumping feeling according to the tempo of the track. So as I change this parameter, you'll see how the track's release time changes. This is hard compressing it, but in this case I want it to come back. I want, once the levels are dipped, they should return. So I'm setting a slightly less release time and set it according to what I feel is good. Of course, you can see the effect. It's pretty prominent. Again, like I said, in this case, it's distorting a bit. You can obviously pull that down, because the more you compress, the more auto gain the compressor gives. That means makes it louder, which might end in distortion if you're using the soft circuit. If you're not using output distortion, it will just sound plain and simple. So just go with your taste. This sounds okay to me because I'm looking for that slightly distortion effect. But you can't deny that there's more energy now in the track, in the overall track. So if you balance your track also basically, and it's nicely well balanced mix and compress on it, the individual tracks. You can use this plugin to bring more juice, more levels, and more punch into your mix. So this is a simple way of doing it. Uh, Again, I hope this is useful to you, and I'll see you guys back in another tutorial shortly. Thanks. This is Gaurav signing out from Beat Factory. Be sure to check out our forum because there are more free tutorials there and certain other series which might be helpful to you. So I'll see you guys next time. This is Gaurav signing out. Ciao.